The moon isn't just a rock, it's much more terrifying. I am not supposed to have any contact with the outside world, whether it be through technology or even going outside of my house. Only for a reason that will be explained later. This isn't a normal story of space and astronauts and seeing the dark empty vastness of the universe. By releasing this information out to the public I will, let's just say, no longer be on the grid. Back on July 20th, 1969, there was the first moon landing, as I am sure you are all aware of. Some people believe it was faked, which I know for sure that is completely bullshit. But we aren't here to talk about that argument. As you know, there was an Apollo 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, and 17. Or at least, that is what it says on official reports and records. The reason I say that is because there were two more. One was organized in the 1980s, Apollo 18, that was kept a secret, and I'm sure you have seen the so-called edited version of the possible videos from Apollo 18, but what happened in that movie was far from the truth. God, those poor souls. Apollo 19, or another name for it, Mission Recovery, was organized to recover the bodies that were found on the moon during Apollo 18. It was supposed to be kept secret from everyone. They chose me and 3 other strong-willed, able-bodied men for this mission. I will not provide our names due to confidentiality, and I will just use man 1, 2, and 3, as soon as we went through some brief training and other typical things you would have to go through. Myself, and the 3 other men were already known astronauts, or at least we were. September 3, 2005 was our set date to launch for Mission Recovery. As we all entered the locker rooms to put our suites on and prepare for launch, we all started talking about the mission. "You ready, boys?" Man 2 asked. "This supposed recovery mission might be a waste of our time," Man 3 said. "Yay, but at least we get to see space," Man 1 said. I then said, "Do any of you realize we are going to recover bodies of men who have served our country?" All the men fell silent. "Have some respect," I said. "What do you think they will do with the bodies once we get them back?" "They will probably study and examine the bodies, then bury them," Man 1 said. 2 hours later, launch began. "Here we go," Man 2 said. As soon as we left the atmosphere of the Earth, we all marveled at the beautiful, amazing universe. The stars glimmered and twinkled throughout our journey. We all had a sense of hope before we realized why we were going to the moon in the first place. Hours later, we arrived at the giant rock. "We are gonna be doing this for hours or even days," Man 3 said. "Let's just find the bodies and get this over with, alright?" I said to them through the comms. We spent at least 3 days looking and searching for the missing bodies from Apollo 18. Each day, we told Mission Control that we haven't found a trace of the bodies and where they could have gone. But the 4th day we found. Oh God. We found one body of the 3 men. We woke up from our slumber and headed out for our 4th day on the moon. We found a small cave on an area of the moon. We decided that we needed to take a look inside. "I don't like this, we should head back," Man 2 said with a look of concern in his eyes. "Oh come on, we have to look, we are on a mission, may I remind you?" I said to them. All the men nodded in agreement. It was at least 2 hours before we actually found something in the cave. Through our flashlights we could see a glove lying on the ground motionless. "Looks like we got something," Man 3 said. "How did it get this far down in the cave?" I thought. "Let's keep searching, we will eventually find whatever took the glove off," Man 1 said. "Are you fucking crazy? We might get lost down here," Man 2 said. "Everyone calm the hell down, we will be alright," I said, rolling my eyes. Then, something in the air shifted. All of a sudden we heard it, a low, evil scream. Not like it was screaming for help, it was looking for blood, and whatever it was, it knew we were here. "You're all fucking crazy. I am not staying, I am going back," Man 2 said. As he started heading back, we heard him cry out for help. Then it fell silent. Man 3 started crying onto the ground and Man 1 was in complete hysterics. "Everyone, pull your shit together, if we keep heading forward we can make distance between us and that thing, we should be alright," I said to give the men at least a little hope. All the men reluctantly agreed to follow. We were walking in that damn cave for no more than 3 of just nothingness. Then we stumbled on it, a man lying face down on some circle in blood with words scrambled all over him and on the hard, rocky floor of the cold, still moon. Each one of us were in shock, we couldn't speak or move. Just nothing. We have to grab the body and head back. Man 1 said frightened. Hold up, there is something here on the wall. What is it? All the words were nonsense, but 2 words were on the wall that stuck out to me: God, devil, then a symbol with a circle and one side were clear and the other dark. Do you all realize what we have to do? I asked. What? We have to go to the dark side of the moon. The man and I included shivered at the thought. We continued down the cave, not bothering to even take the corpse with us. We just wanted to find the other ones and get home back to Earth. We followed the narrow path that was left in cave. Our flashlights cut out a few times so we couldn't see much of what was in front of us. The cave stretched on and on forever, it seemed. Our watches beeped saying it was the next day. Since we aren't on Earth, we use things like that to tell if it is the next day. Soon, midday, it appeared we reached the end of the cave, but the only problem was we couldn't see anything besides the stars that seemed to torment us. Looks like we made it the other side, I said confidently. How many batteries you got left in your flash? Man 1 asked Man 3. Oh, about 4, he said. All of a sudden we heard something that sent shivers down my spine and throughout my whole body. In a deep, dark, loud and echoing voice it called to us. I am here. God is dead. What? Man 3 tried to speak, but he couldn't, none of us could. Then we heard it in the dark again. Your friend has joined us now. We all looked at one another thinking about what happened to Man 2 back in the cave. His screams echoing through the darkness, still burned into my mind even till this very day. I sat on my chair. Then there was a flash, which I don't know how is possible conspiring there isn't weather or none of us had flashed out. But what we saw in that momentary flash I will never forget. Man 2 was standing in front of us, reaching his hand out, reaching for us, his face half black like what we saw on the symbol back where we found the body. Half full, half gone, I thought to look in fear. Then it was black again. Then in a quiet tone, we heard it whisper to us in the dark, nobody can save you from what is coming now. Then as soon as the voice stopped, the moon shook, the ground cracked, flashes of light everywhere on the dark surface of the moon. Then screams echoed everywhere through the darkness, screams of agony, loss, anger, sadness, and worst of all the cry for murder. It rang in our heads and our ears, and it was soon we found out it even was heard through the comms back at Mission Control. Man 1 and 3 bolted back into the cave. We never stopped running. Then I noticed Man 1 and 3 were gone. I didn't care because I knew they would not survive if they had been taken. It must have been days before I finally reached the light side of the moon. I wasted no time securing the airlocks and preparing to take for launch back to Earth. As soon as I was set to go for my 3-day journey back home, I launched. I wanted to be as far away from the moon as possible. I was relieved when I saw the moon slowly shrinking into the distance, but my fears and nightmares were far from over. On the top of the moon I could see the 3 other men that fell behind, with half-black faces in their hands. Reaching out for me to call me back to them. I knew it wasn't them. Then I heard it one last time. I will come for you. Then I blacked out. When I had awoken, I was in my house on my couch. I know it wasn't a dream, because if it was I wouldn't have gotten the 2 scars I had when I stumbled in the cave. It has been quite a few years, but last year I noticed a dark spot on one side of my face, and it has only grown ever since. I have noticed shadows, heard voices every day. God have mercy on my soul, I think they are here to get me. It isn't the government. It's them. And I don't think I will ever return. It calls for me to join him on the dark side of the moon.